Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's good morning here.
Oh, good morning, good morning. Okay.
Morning, morning.
The world is so small now. We are connected to very easily to each other, but somewhere it is morning, somewhere it is afternoon. Not audible, someone is speaking something. Nothing is audible, Mr. Benjamin, or someone is speaking. How are you all?
We are fine, sir. And you?
Ah, thank God, it's all fine.
Okay.
So we can start.
I think so. Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Someone is telling to add. Mr. Admin can do this. So we are now growing in our WhatsApp group, isn't it?
Yes.
Credit goes to the our admin and every one of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So we were discussing about our voluntary work, uh, and today we are going to discuss about our voluntary efforts that is being done in the country, in India and many other parts. Basically, we are discussing here about India. Uh, so we discussed in our previous class that voluntary organizations are basically into different welfare activities, development activities, right from protecting and development, protecting the rights of children, working in the development, working for the development of the children, welfare activities for women in rural areas, urban areas, in tribal areas, in urban areas, in slums, and welfare services for youths, geriatric care for senior citizens, for people with disabilities, for family welfare activities, for creating mass awareness among people, preventing in healthcare fields, promotion of standard of living, prevention of diseases like prevention of different communicable and non-communicable diseases. I had mentioned particularly in case of both for communicable and non-communicable, but particularly in case of communicable like disease like tuberculosis, efforts are seriously made. Only medical interventions cannot bring larger change. We have to work for prevention. So also for non-communicable diseases like prevention of cancer, prevention of diabetes, because these diseases are mostly understood to be lifestyle diseases like diabetes. So we as social workers, we are engaged in community level to create awareness for the prevention of such diseases. We also work for the welfare of PWD, person with disability, not only for the welfare but to safeguard and to protect their rights, their dignity. And we also work for eradication of poverty, eradication of inequality. Different other programs voluntary organizations have been doing in India since long. So also I mentioned about international brotherhood or fraternity, different training programs, skilling up the capacity of individuals. So also working for environment, for wildlife, for birds, for any other animals, nature, ecology, like protection of forest, trees, conservation of trees, forest, water bodies, like be it pond, lake, streams, rivers, even oceans, and many other, every possible water body. These are the basically the activities run by India by the voluntary organizations, BOs or the NGOs. I had mentioned you about constructive social work. In India, mostly voluntary organizations are driven by the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation of India. So also he has immensely contributed for the freedom movement of South Africa. Anyone from South Africa here? Anyone having anyone from South Africa over here with us? Yes or no, please?
I think no.
I think there's no one from South Africa.
Okay. Okay. But you must have heard about the contribution of Mahatma Gandhi to the freedom movement of South Africa, uh, uh, creating the leader like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela ji, the great freedom fighter from South Africa, was hugely influenced, attracted by the core philosophies and activities by Mahatma Gandhi and his freedom struggle. Because Gandhi did not start his struggle in India, rather he started from South Africa. The his 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 fight against colonial rule, and we all know that Gandhiji was a strong believer of peace and non-violence. You know it. You know about Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi. How many of you know? Have you heard his name?
Yes, I heard of his name.
Okay. Anybody else who has come across the name of Mahatma Gandhi? In India, he is known as Mahatma Gandhi. His actual full name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, known as the father of nation for India. And second November, his birth, his birthday, second of October, is declared by United Nations as International Day for Non-Violence, because his total philosophy, his core philosophy was surrounded with the philosophy of non-violence, no violence, no violence. Even if you are beaten, even if you are scolded, even if you are tortured, you will not reply in the same language. Rather, you will protest in non-violent manner. That is his core philosophy. Two important philosophies Gandhiji had: truth, based on truth, and non-violence. The activities will be done not in mode of violence, but by following the means of non-violence. Therefore, his birthday, 2nd October, is celebrated as International Nonviolence Day by United Nations. So this is global celebration, global day, international day. So I must tell all of you, please Google Mahatma Gandhi and read his history, his contributions. I can also share some articles and things in WhatsApp group so that you come to know more about Mahatma Gandhi. Because understanding social work in Indian perspective, we need to understand Gandhi and his vision, his work, the way he wanted to serve the community. So why I am mentioning Mahatma Gandhi over here? Oh, great! Someone is telling. Uh, Let me read. I studied him in secondary history class. Great, great. You can also share something. Can you share a few lines on him, Mahatma Gandhi, that you have studied?
Yeah, all I remember is he was, what you are saying, he was a freedom fighter in India.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I studied him in the world history. World history.
His role in South Africa, you have read something
About Nelson Mandela.
about Mahatma Gandhi, because Nelson Mandela was influenced and attracted with the philosophy of Gandhi. Gandhi
Yes,
was the
yes,
core teacher to him.
yes. We studied all that.
Yeah. That is what I wanted to tell. So Gandhi
Yeah,
is not an Indian philosopher. Rather, he is actually an international philosopher who has contributed international fraternity with his core philosophy of truth and non-violence. So Gandhi, so please, you have heard. You can also read a few more things about him. You can Google and you can understand. You can find a number of things, number of articles, number of many things you can find. So Gandhiji's struggle for freedom movement in India was not only to eradicate or to wipe out British administration or imperialism. Rather, Gandhi also wanted different developments and different social transformation and changes in India. He not only wanted to change the government, rather he wanted to change the society as a whole. So few important things I would be telling. Why I'm telling? Because currently in India, whatever voluntary organizations we see, these are basically influenced with that ideology of Mahatma Gandhi or the ideology of freedom movement of India. Because when you read freedom movement of India, freedom movement of India was not only to say goodbye to the British, rather we wanted to create a just society, a society with justice, equality, fraternity, and many other things we wanted to change. So Gandhiji's out of different activities, Gandhiji's work was there to work against untouchability. Untouchability. You know about untouchability? Have you heard? Have you listened to anything about practice of untouchability? Any idea? Okay, I am referring from African countries. Historically, when you study history of around 100 years back, 200 years back, there was slavery system. Do you accept?
Need other people in the call. Your camera's on. Your mic is bulgy. Alert. Live caption visible. Use window switcher to focus.
Hello, hello. So there was a slavery system in African country in the name of color. In the name of color,
It's
people
bulgy.
were people were discriminated. There was a supreme color. There was inferior color. Black was always considered to be a low, people were discarded. People were the rights of the people. Black people were not accepted in the society. They were facing the problem of slavery and like that. Similarly, when we see India, the history of India, we see the history of this kind of similar kind of practices in the name of caste. Caste is something based on birth. Someone is born in a particular caste means his or her caste is defined. So there was a caste called untouchable, that untouchable caste. They were they were treated as the black were treated in Africa, in any other country, Western countries. Black were ill treated. So also this so-called low caste people, they were ill treated. Their rights were not ensured. Even touching to those people was considered to be very unhealthy practice, unhealthy thing, not accepted. So Gandhiji in the freedom movement, Gandhiji also wanted to work for eradication of untouchability. Untouchability in the society. There will be no practice of untouchability. So he coined the word called Harijan. Harijan. Harijans. Hari means God and Jan means people. So he named this particular community who were treated to be untouchable. They were called by Mahatma Gandhi as Harijans, the people of Lord, the people of God, so that people will not discriminate them. And these people, untouchable Harijans, historically they were denied the rights, education right, even right to dignity, any other right you can discuss. So Gandhi wanted to have or to establish a society which will accept all the people and will not discriminate any person in the name of caste. Gandhiji, important activities Gandhiji and has undertaken, that is eradication of leprosy and working for the people with leprosy. Historically, we have seen the leprosy affected people, they were also not accepted at all. They were thrown away from family and they were thrown away from communities. They were living a very petty life, very, they were suffering like anything else. Even today, despite of all changes, still there is stigma against leprosy. So Gandhiji wanted to work for people affected with leprosy. Gandhi wanted to work for village industries. Gandhiji always wanted to work for villages in spite of towns. So Gandhiji said, the soul of India lies with villages. So Gandhi always wanted for the development of villages. And there he called for Swaraj. Swaraj. Complete administration by self-governance, by people themselves. So Gandhiji focused on local development using locally produced clothes, to use locally produced food. So with the call of Swaraj, to use everything that is locally available, not to be imported and exported. Rather, he believed in autonomy, economic autonomy of the villages. So his economic idea was khadi and village industry. Khadi, khadi is a symbol. Khadi is a symbol of self-governance. Khadi is a symbol of localization of things. Khadi is particularly a traditional hand woven spin dresses. So there was a charkha that was used by Mahatma Gandhi, and that became an ideology for the Gandhian workers. So Gandhi gave a call in local Indian language. It is said, "काटी काट के पहनना, कूट कर खाना." In English, you have to spin your own clothes and you have to produce your own food. You'll not depend upon outsiders. Rather, locally you have to produce, because Gandhi wanted to develop the local communities with local efforts. The villages will become independent only when there will be a revolution, that people will have their own local economy. So Gandhiji never believed in mass production. This is another economic pattern that Gandhiji was propagating: mass production. Not, he did not believe in mass production, rather he believed production by masses. Production by masses. Can anyone define mass production and production by masses? Can anyone define? One is mass production, another is production by masses. Can anyone define? Anyone, please?
According to my understanding, mass production means producing things in large quantities, but production by masses means producing things by many people, I think, in simple terms.
Yes, very nicely pointed out. Mass production, as you mentioned, that large production, but I'm questioning this large scale of production will be done by masses or by few persons.
It can be by either few people or by a large number of people, depending on
But
the tools they have.
particularly when we talk about mass production, we talk about industries. So industries are basically belonging to one, two people like that.
Yeah,
So
sure.
they go for mass productions. They can produce, for example, they want to produce 1 lakh piece of shirt that can be done within 2 days by an industry. This is a mode of economy, mass production. Another is, Gandhiji talked about production by masses. So that 1 lakh dress or the shirts or pants will be produced by masses, 10,000 weavers, so that the economy or the income will go to 10,000 weavers, not to one industry, but to large number of people. So this is how we can develop the economy of large number of people, by producing by masses. That is the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. So these kind of things, like Gandhiji talked about women development. So Gandhiji said, I will not call that country a free country when a woman or a girl cannot move safely or cannot reach to her destination safely, even at midnight. Even at midnight. The girl and women have to travel safely to their destinations, even at midnight. Unless that happens in a country, I will not call that country a free country. That is what Mahatma Gandhi says. So that is the level of thought Mahatma Gandhi was spreading in the journey of freedom struggle in India. So Indian freedom struggle was not limited to the political change, but also social changes and transformations. So from that day and onwards, when we look at the voluntary organizations across India, we find similar kind of activities, working for women, children, working for village development, economic upliftment of the people, downtrodden people, Dalits, called untouchables or called Harijans. Now after independence, these people are called as SC, scheduled caste, SC, listed caste in the Constitution of India, and they have been provided special safeguards for protection of their rights and dignities in the Constitution of India. So mostly voluntary organizations are working with this kind of programs, working for mental health, working for education, working for welfare of weaker sections, working for PWD. In your book it is written handicapped, but please do not use the word handicapped, because as per right of Person with Disability Act 2016, we do not use the word handicap, blind, like these words we do not use. Rather we use the word like PWD, persons with disabilities. So similarly, now voluntary organizations are very actively working in these sectors. So also the voluntary organizations are working for protection of rights, right-based work. For example, if there will be violation of rights of women, children, PWD, Kinner, the transgenders, minorities, economically weaker communities. So different development organizations or the voluntary organizations are into action to safeguard, to protect the rights of such people. If there will be violence against women, children, any other persons in the society, then the voluntary organizations are supporting them with legal aid. What is this legal aid? Legal aid means providing legal aid or assistance to the people who cannot afford to fight for their own in the court of law. They cannot go for lodging FIR. They cannot stand in the court for themselves. They do not know how to take protection from the court of law. So there are voluntary organizations in India. They're working for providing legal assistance or the legal aid to the people who are affected, who have faced violence, whose basic human rights are violated. This is how the voluntary organizations are working for welfare activities, as well as they are working for rights based activities. Different other leaders in India, even after Mahatma Gandhi, Vinoba Bhave, Jayaprakash Narayan, many other human rights socialist leaders, those who were influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, also worked for those social changes even after Mahatma Gandhi's death. So his ideology was accepted, was practiced by different Sarvodaya leaders or different Gandhian leaders in post-independent India. As I mentioned, that the the voluntary social workers or the volunteers, they have also worked for environment movements. I had mentioned one example of Chipko movement is basically, Chipko means to hold tightly to someone is called Chipko. To hold someone tightly, Chipko in Hindi word. So when the trees were cut, so a group of people came, emerged. They just went and hugged the trees very tightly with a demand that will not allow the trees to be cut. This is how different environmental movements. Another movement was led by Medha Patekar. You can read his name, you can Google Medha Patekar. She started a campaign for, the campaign was known as Narmada Bachao Andolan. These are Hindi words. You have to please try to learn few things. Narmada Bachao Andolan. So there was a development project. Dam was to be constructed over a river. So people were displaced. People were displaced, but were not rightly rehabilitated. So the movement emerged with the leadership of Medha Patekar. It was, the demand was to protect the rights of displaced people. And Medha Patekar is an MSW. She has done MSW. She is a student of social work. She led a very vibrant movement in India. And with this Narmada Bachao Andolan, different other movements, ecological movement. These movements are known as ecological movements. Movement to protect, right? Movements to protect water bodies, forest, trees, rivers, like that. So different ecological movements also emerged, and social workers, volunteers, they played a very significant role, very vibrant role to protect, to conserve the natural resources, as well as they tried to protect the rights of people who were affected with these development projects. Apart from that, development workers, the NGO people or the volunteers, voluntary social workers, the professional social workers, they have established different homes, like home for senior citizens, homes for senior citizens, homes for children who are parentless, who destitute people, people wandering in the roads with mental illness. So different homes could be established to give shelter to these people, those who are wandering in roads because their mental health is not in good condition. The children who are tortured in the family, outside of the family, the children, those who don't have parents, the neglected children, the unwanted children, the thrown away children, the children who are thrown away and were rescued by voluntary organizations, and they were given shelter. And slowly different legislations also came to protect the right of such children, those children who are in conflict with law, or those children whose basic human rights are violated. So there is a very proactive legislation called JJ Act, Juvenile Justice Act, also came in India to protect the rights of children. So different legislations were also backing the initiatives which are taken by voluntary organizations. Can someone give such examples from your own native place, how voluntary organizations are contributing for social development or to protect the rights of people? Requesting few people to give example from your own native areas. Anybody who can give a few examples?
Yeah, hello. Like in
Huh.
my country, the organization that I'm working in, we
Mhm.
provide psychosocial support to
Yeah,
individuals, especially
mm.
those who are infected with HIV. So,
HIVs. Okay.
yeah, we provide psychosocial support to their families if children are infected, and as well as nutritional support.
Okay.
Sure.
Which country you are talking about?
I'm in Malawi working with the Right to Care South Africa.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Good example. Similarly, voluntary organizations are working for HIV affected people. I mentioned about that the voluntary organizations are working for children rights. So here, not only for education, there are organizations working for child care, health care, like nutritional support. That is another important areas of child development. So they work with lactating mothers, they work with pregnant ladies, they work with children, uh, children, very small children, like here in India from 0 to 6, they are providing support through Anganwadi. There is a concept called Anganwadi, where particularly 6 kind of support is provided: the healthcare support, recreational support, and nutritional support. This support system is given by government, and different development organizations, voluntary organizations are also working for such child care initiatives in the country. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone who can share? Anyone, please?
Yes, there is this organization in Ghana that
Ghana.
helps to provide sanitary pads for school-going girls.
Okay.
Yes, and
Mm.
as I said, they are campaigning seriously towards the reduction of sanitary pad in the country, and also at the same time providing for school-going girls to prevent a whole lot of things, because a lot of girls in Ghana cannot afford sanitary pad, which makes it difficult for them when they get to that season of the month to go out. So some organizations has come up to help in such cases by providing the sanitary pad to
This is an
schools.
import. Please complete.
Yeah, I mean they supply it to the schools for them to be distributed to them.
Okay, okay, nice example. When we talk about child development, this is another important or significant area. Working for menstrual hygiene. Menstrual hygiene. In remote areas, rural areas, even today also in Ghana, you're talking about. Similarly, in India also, in many other developing and poor countries of the world, the examples are coming from remote areas where our girls, our children are not able to afford the sanitary pads, which ultimately leads to unhygienic practices by children and ultimately leads to different infections to our children, girls. So voluntary organizations are actively working for menstrual hygiene by providing uh, sanitary pad, number one, and number two, how to use that. That is also another important education. This is called health education. So yes, it is, you may provide sanitary pads, but how to use that, for how many hours one sanitary pad can be used, and how it will be disposed of, is not that important?
Very important.
This is called health education. So voluntary organizations are providing sanitary pads as well as providing knowledge, information, how to correctly use those pads and how to dispose those pads, because it will otherwise it will lead to another different kind of problems in the society. So very nicely pointed out about. So here we are talking about adolescents working with the adolescent girls. These are the adolescent girls, and our voluntary organizations are working. Even in government program, in some programs in Odisha, in the state we are in, sanitary pads are provided. But a voluntary organization, VOs, the NGOs, they are supporting such government initiatives also, because simply distribution of the pads may not lead to dramatic changes in the society. In the healthcare of adolescent girls, rather needs health education. Good example. Now we are going to discuss very important thing, some ethical things. I request everybody to participate in this discussion. This is very crucial thing. Social work ethics in Indian context. I think similar kind of situations might be there in African countries, in our African countries. Ethics, what is this ethics? Ethics, we have discussed in previous class also. Ethics means our belief system, what exactly, whether we should do this or will not do that. So any profession is surrounded with certain ethical principles, and with that ethical principles the profession moves on. The profession moves on by following those ethical practices or the ethics and values. As a social worker, what ethical value system you will have? Can anybody tell? As professional social worker, forget about Indian context, African context, European context, whatever context, Asian context. You just please, as a professional social worker, what ethical practices you will follow? I want to listen at least from 5 people. Yeah. Please start.
Yeah, integrity.
Please give example. What ethical practices you will follow?
To practice a high integrity in whatever I am doing. I should make sure that it's um, it's of good value and good report. I shouldn't just do things on my own without considering others involved, our clients and those who are involved. I should be truthful. I should be straightforward. I should be punctual. I should go with my words. My deeds should follow my words. Or
Hmm?
my words, yes. Whatever I do, if I say I'll be there by 10, I should be there.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
anything, I should make a call or make any arrangement.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other? Any other? Anyone?
Anyone? Treating people with respect.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay, please discuss. Requesting all of you to participate. This is a very important. We after your discussions, I'll be giving few case situations, and you will say what will be your ethical concern. Anyone? Mr. Philip? Anyone to share your ethical belief system as professional social worker? Or I am giving you one example. For example, you are the administrator of an agency and you are sending applications to the poor families, to the government agencies asking for financial aid. Your subordinate wants you to reduce the annual income of the families shown in the documents, as she or he feels that it will improve their chances of getting the aid. Besides, he or she says that all other agencies do not do the same. If your agency does not do that, households of your community will be at a disadvantaged situation. Will you agree to knowingly mispresent or misrepresent information to help those families? Am I clear with the example? Or I will repeat the example once again.
Yes, please repeat.
For example, you are working with an organization. That organization is filling up the forms for the people, for the community people who cannot fill up for themselves. You as a social worker, you are filling up the forms for those people in the community and sending it to some government agency or some foreign agency to ask for financial aid or financial assistance for these people. Is it clear right now?
Yes, sir.
And and you came to know that there is a column where it is written the annual income of those people. If you write the exact annual income, for example 1 lakh, or for example 1 lakh rupees annually, below that income only people will get the financial aid. If you decrease the financial income or the income of the applicants, there is chance that those people will get financial assistance from government or any international agency. And you came to know that all other agency, like you have an agency or office, all other offices, they are also writing or decreasing the financial or income of the applicants. Will you do this? Will you give this wrong information, misinformation by writing, by reducing the income of those poor families in the application form? What will you do? This is an ethical
No,
situation.
no, you shouldn't. You should be truthful.
But you will just see the pity faces. If I reduce only some rupees in the form, he or she will get the financial aid and she or he can have education. Otherwise, the child will not be able to go to school. Or the family already devastated with natural calamity, now struggling to get some financial aid from somewhere else. If you are just decreasing little bit, small amount in the application form, then those families will be financially benefited. What shall you do? What shall you do?
You should let them aware before filling it for them. You should educate them of what you are doing before filling it for them.
So similarly,
Uh,
please, somebody was telling.
yeah, so I think in the context of social work, what is important is to consider the the client welfare and the safety of those people. But before, of course, taking any decision, either in a positive or negative way, it is very important that you seek their consent so that they are aware of the purpose or the intent of what you intend to do before you reach out the information to them. So you can aware
Okay.
them so that they are informed, and then the decision that you think is going to be positive because you're looking at the welfare of these individuals.
Similarly, I am giving another examples. For example, you are working with a client who is found HIV positive, but nobody knows about this. He only by working seriously with this person, you came to know that, or the person disclosed that he is HIV infected person, and the person requests you, please do not disclose it. What shall you do?
I think
What shall you?
here comes confidentiality. You shouldn't
Okay,
discuss it.
okay. But I am just changing the situation. The person is now going to live with his wife, and wife also does not know about HIV infection to her husband. What shall you do?
I think in such a case, there is also confidentiality involved. Of course, when somebody opens up about the fact that they're HIV positive, what you can do as a social worker is to try, first of all, and talk to the person who gave out the information. Try to convince them so that they can tell the information to their partners. But if you go ahead and reveal the information without their consent, then you would have gone in the wrong way, because according to the ethical approach of social work, there is confidentiality. And when somebody opens up to you, it's because they know that you're not going to tell it to anyone else. So it is better that you try to, in your position as social worker, to convince them first before you try to reveal the information.
After listening these stories, are not you finding yourself in ethical dilemmas? What shall I do? In one place, this person, if he is declared to be HIV person, maybe he will be stigmatized in the society, in the community, in the family itself. Number second, if the information is not given to the wife, then the wife is going to be infected very soon with the infection, with HIV infection. So now you come across such a situation, you come into a dilemma kind of situation where you will see the the confidentiality of the infected person as well as the safety of his partner, or safety of the partner, maybe male partner, female partner, either or. So there are different situations when we come across such situations, and there will be ethical dilemmas. What shall I do? I had given you example. Somebody has come to you for counseling, for therapy, and you are providing counseling support from marital disputes. The husband says that tonight I am going to poison my wife, and you know, as a social worker, you are going to maintain confidentiality. Now there is an ethical dilemma. If I am revealing this truth to the wife, what will happen? If I don't share this information to the wife, then what will happen? So it depends on the skills of the social workers to tactfully deal with such happenings, such instances, so that there will be no hue and cry, so that there will be no difficulty to anyone, neither to the client nor to anybody who is associated with the client. Maybe family members, maybe friends, maybe some professional friends, whoever might be. So we need to be very much technical while dealing with certain kind of ethical dilemmas. some personal level examples also. For example, you don't believe in giving some bribes. Do you have bribery? Do you find this giving bribes in the offices in your respective countries also?
Of
Bribes.
course, yes, very in Ghana.
For example, you have gone for some medical emergency in some hospital, and there is situation, life and death situation, with someone who is near and dear to you, and the hospital demands bribe. If you don't give the patient, something may happen to the patient within half an hour. You are not in a position to argue, but you don't believe in bribing. But what shall you do at that time? These are the ethical dilemmas. These are the ethical dilemmas. And as a social worker, professional social worker, when you start working with the people at community level, you will come across with these kind of examples in day-to-day basis. In day-to-day basis. So please be prepared. Be prepared for all these kind of ethical dilemmas and situations, and be bold to decide, to stand with the truth, and by not affecting to anybody, either your own client or your client's family or someone else who is associated to him or her. So these are the very important things. Am I clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. But the first scenario you have given, you've not given us the answer yet. Whether to,
Answers.
yeah, the first scenario you have given. If you
I
want to reduce that figure to let them have it or not, I want to know the answer.
somebody is writing something. I'm just reading and I'm coming to your questions. Uh, Sexual exploitation among female beneficiaries is an example of being unethical as well. Yes, of course, of course, of course. So my answer I gave you only two, three examples. But I mentioned when you come across the community working as professional social worker, there is possibility or probability you will come across with many ethical crisis, ethical dilemmas. It depends upon your skills, upon your skills, how you are technically expert to deal with certain ethical concerns, and it will depend on that particular situations. What shall you do, where shall you stand with? But I must mention one example of Mahatma Gandhi. I again quote to Mahatma Gandhi: the means and the goal must be pious. For example, there is a social worker. For example, you find some volunteer who is helping the needy and poor. He or she is feeding to poor people who are in streets, who are disadvantaged people, who cannot afford even a day-to-day meal. Some volunteer is feeding. Is he doing good job? Is
Yes,
he
sir.
or she? Absolutely, it sounds good that some volunteer is feeding. This is the goal is very fine, feeding someone. But this social worker is stealing from different rich people and distributing among poor. Is it right path? It is the right thing? Is it the right
No,
thing?
no.
So Gandhiji said, Mahatma Gandhi said, the path should also be pious. The path should always be beautiful. The means should also be beautiful. as the end is beautiful. He's feeding to the hungry. He's clothing to the naked. He's providing education to the needy children. The end is very beautiful. But what's the means? Is the means also beautiful? If the means is not beautiful, path can also not be beautiful, as per Mahatma Gandhi. But sometimes situations comes like that. I gave you example. You don't believe in bribery. You don't believe in giving bribes. But you are in a situation. If you're not compromising, there will be death kind of situation. Someone who is very much near to dear to you. At that time, you are quite in a dilemma. What shall we do? So many such dilemmas. There is possibility that you will come across. So I am just hinting out with this example that it depends on the skills of the social workers and depending on the situations, depending upon that situation, you will decide what exactly you are going to do. One example I am giving you, another example. I am just telling you one example, and you will say whether it is ethical or unethical. A policeman tortures a criminal, saying that you are found, or saying that he or she is guilty because I have, means the police is telling, I have seen you by doing this miss or the crimes. Will you enjoy this? I am repeating again. A policeman tortures a person who is suspected to be a criminal or who is a criminal. The police tortures by saying, why did you do this to a poor man? Will you enjoy the torture of the police?
No, I will not enjoy
Why?
that because it's instant justice, which is no good. It's against the law.
Huh. The basic thing, people may many times you come across with the news that police is torturing and police is beating, even killed someone police killed someone, and people enjoy.
Excuse me, sir. There's some background noise. Okay, it's done now.
Hello, sir. Are you there?
I think he
Hello,
has
sir.
some connection problems.
Yeah.
There was some connection
Let
problem. Hello, I'm back. There was
Oh,
some
okay.
connection problem. It was disconnected. I
Okay.
again uh, connected. Ha. So even the police tortures, police just fired someone, and people enjoy. But as social worker, we say that justice should happen in the court of law, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Justice will happen, justice will be done, justice will be given only, I repeat, only in the court of law. No one, neither police nor common people, can take the law at hands. And even someone who is said to be criminal, she or he has also right to stand in the court for uh, for proving himself or herself innocent, isn't it? He or she will also has also right to defend himself or herself in the court. That is also the basic human right of a person, even if the person is already in guilt in open public, in public place, he or she has done some criminal activity, is brought to the jail, and it is going on in the court of law. Now there will be arguments between two parties, the government side wakil advocate as well as the person who is to be accused, who is accused. Now the court will decide. So such ethical things we need to understand. Why I am telling all these examples? Because social work is a solving profession, and social worker comes across varied and complex situation. Ethics help professionals to act morally in different situations, and the need for such behavior in social work is important. It is just because why these ethical values are important, it is because societal worker, the social workers, during their interaction with clients or the people and their significant others, have sensitive informations. You as a social workers, you come across with certain sensitive informations. If you pass on those information, that may create some other, it may lead to some other problems. Even if you don't pass on those information, there is also possibility it will lead to other crises. And social workers are often in situations where their decisions can cause serious damage to the client or someone else. And some cases, social workers are in position to allocate funds, resources. I was mentioning about social work administration, where the social workers work as administrators, as social welfare administrators, and they have immense power of allocating or allowing resources. For example, if you are in a position to allocate resources, for example, you have gone to a place for providing relief services to the people who are affected with flood and cyclone disaster. So in that village, there will be some people who are your relatives, and you are in an authority. With the authority, you can sanction to all those people with a house. What is your ethical duty? Your ethical duty is to examine who is exactly affected, whose houses are damaged. You are going to provide, allocate resources to construct the houses for those people only. But in a village, you went and you find someone who is your brother, sister, friend, your relative, whose house is not badly affected, but you are in an authority, you can give, allocate resources for construction of his house. And the person is also requesting, oh brother, please do favor to me. With your one signature, I will have a building, I will get benefits. Then now it depends on your moral values. ethical values, whether he will do or not. If you provide this person who is not eligible, who is not actually eligible, but is relative, as human being, you also want to support. But if you support to this any ineligible person, definitely one eligible person will not get the benefit, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's true, sir.
So you have to compromise with some eligible person who is not your relative and friend. So you are in a position to allocate resource to a person, even if he or she is not eligible. At that time, you have to ethically think, even if you are a position to allocate, but you cannot do because this is unethical practice. As a human being, actually all these things, theories, is very easy to listen to, very easy to deliver what I am delivering. It is easy to listen as you are listening and sharing your thought, but in a field when it comes to practice, is not it difficult really if you have not prepared yourself properly, isn't it?
Yes, you are right.
Very difficult, because there will be some relatives to you. For another example, if you are biased human being, you are biased like that, you believe that women are always wrong. For example, you are with a notion that men are always wrong, and you are working as a family counselor. How shall you manage? How shall you manage? Can you manage? Can you manage? If you have pre-notions, that someone is having pre-notion that all women are bad, everything whatever is happening, it is because of women only in the family. Somebody is thinking that anything whatever is happening bad in the family is just because of the male members. So those two individuals who are biased cannot effectively work as family social workers. They cannot. So they need to understand this. Above all, religion, gender, caste, creed, color, birthplace, anything, we need to treat every person as human being, and we will not take part of anyone. Rather, we will discharge our professional services as a professional social worker, Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there are code of ethics prescribed by National Association of Social Workers, NASW. So also different other code of ethics are also defined. However, in Indian context, primarily we believe the following things, particularly as our ethical principles while working as a professional social worker. Number one is service. Number two is social justice. Then is dignity and worth of the person. Then is importance of human relationship. Then is integrity. Next is competence, and few other ethical values we are also guided with, like compassion. We must possess that human skills, human feelings, compassion. Rather, in social work we say empathy rather than sympathy. So we must be empathetic. Can anybody define this empathy and sympathy? Can anyone define empathy and sympathy? Can anyone give example of two? empathetically dealing with and sympathetically dealing with. How is that?
Uh, I'll start with empathy. The way I
Sorry.
understand it,
Ha.
empathy.
Ha, please,
Yeah,
please explain.
yes. The way I understand it, it's when somebody explains to you the situation he or she is in, and you try to put yourself in his or her shoes.
Yes.
Yes, and you feel pity, you feel emotionally attached to that situation.
Yes.
Yes, that's how I understand it, sir.
Nicely. When, for example, you are passing in some road and you find someone who is struggling to pass the road because of old age or because of disability, because the person is not able to see, or the person is very old lady or old man. Oh, you are going with your scooter, your bike. I said, oh, so difficult the life is during old age. You just said and crossed the road. How are you dealing with this person? You are sympathetically dealing. And empathetically means when you see someone struggling in the road because of old age, you just think this old lady is my grandmother. You treat the lady is a stranger to you, is an unknown person to you. But you consider this lady who is struggling in the road to pass the road because of heavy traffic. You think this lady is perhaps like my grandmother, is perhaps like my own mother. And you're stopping over there, you're providing or creating some situation or helping the person to cross the road because you are empathetically dealing with when you feel the problem as you are feeling the same. That is empathetical approach. Every class everywhere I basically focus on compassion. As human being we must develop that attitude. Even if we have or we may not have, we must develop. I am mentioning the compassion for others. Whatever you be, a social worker, you be engineer, doctor, farmer, business lady, businessman, you are carpenter, you are electrician, you are anything else. But we all of us, we must have compassion. So in Indian context, the basic ethics that we follow as social worker is we believe in service. We believe in service. Then service to whom? Service to anyone without any discrimination. Service Service is the primary thing that attracts us. And as social worker, we're not biased in the name of religion, in the name of gender, in the name of color, caste. But again, I am mentioning many times practicing all those things are really very difficult. Speaking, narrating, writing essays, winning the debate competitions is very easy, but very difficult. You, me, everyone to work as really practitioner of all those ethical things. So when we become a social worker, the cases may come. We are providing services, but some situations may happen where we do not, from our childhood, we may have some our own pre-notions, pre-existing notions, biased opinions. So there are people who are biased and they have leveled some people as bad, some good. They have leveled. And while working with the people in the communities, they find it quite difficult. Quite difficult. So as social worker, we must believe in service. By providing services. And The social worker is expected to serve the client or the person with full loyalty to the best of his or her abilities. Whatever abilities you have, I have, we must serve with full loyalty. Full loyalty. Abilities can differ. You are having a different ability. You are also social worker. I am a social worker. I may have less ability or more ability. It depends. But important is the loyalty. Ability differs, but loyalty should not differ. Do you agree to this statement?
Again, sir, please.
Ability differs. You as a social worker, you are different than some other social worker in your own community, in your own village, in your own country, in your own place. There will be 5 social worker with 5 distinct capacities, abilities, but we must be loyal to our people whom we are serving. Loyal. We should not be disrespecting, will not be disrespecting to the dignity, will not be cheating to the people while serving as professional social workers. And justice, that is very much important thing. Justice, can anybody define justice? Can anybody define justice? Can
It's
anybody
all about
please?
doing things in a right way.
Okay, social justice, I am talking about social justice. Social justice.
I think dealing in the context of the law of whatever area we find ourselves.
Social justice is something.
Okay.
Anybody is telling something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add up that social justice might
Yeah,
be
please.
also might be defined as a practice or an act of treating everyone in the society so equally, despite their maybe education background or biological makeup. Like these are females, these are males, or this one is a person with disabilities, but working with these people despite their inabilities. So justice is about equal treatment of all people in the society.
Okay, okay. You have pointed out, have come up with their opinions. Thank you so much for highlighting this. Uh, is everyone in our society? You just see your own locality. You just see your own village, your own district, your own country. Is everybody is actually equal?
No,
In your country, in my country, in his country, her country, anywhere in the world. Is everyone enjoying the same right?
Not at
no,
all.
No.
no.
If we all are not equal, how can we think of equality? It is equity we actually want. Some people are very closer to the development factors. What are the development factors? For example, education, health facilities, economy. Some people are educated, well salaried or business community, having all facilities, accessible to all the facilities in the society, in the country. And there will be people who are struggling for a meal, for a lunch, for a breakfast. Will the principle of equality help them to come up? Here we need to
Uh,
please, Mr. Michael.
yeah, I now understand. But my context of understanding was maybe there is an act of participating in a particular project, and you are not sidelining anyone to take part in decision making. For instance,
Yes, yes.
yeah, you come up with a community development project in a particular area, and you are excluding women because you feel like they are not capable of making a decision. So yeah,
Yeah.
inequality in this context, I was talking about maybe in terms of decision making, you can also sideline other people's thinking that they are not able to do that. But if you go to other areas, the nature of social justice may not work because, yeah, indeed, we are not equal because everyone has got their own needs. So that needs that special attention.
You are very much correct while speaking about equality and maintaining equality in the society, and we all of us want to eradicate inequality. I just wanted to speak, if there will be inequality in the society, we have to treat this situation in a different with a different approach. That's the only thing I said. With a different approach. This approach is bringing the last bencher to the first bench. So we have to adopt an approach so that the last person in the society, sitting in the last bench of the society, will be facilitated with a process by which you, as a social worker, you will facilitate a process by which a person standing in the last bench of the society will be brought out to the first. So social justice here, I mean to say, social justice is to promote equality among the people with a equitable approach. So for what is equality and equity? Equality means, for example, in your family, if there are five people, one is senior citizen, one is 2 years child, another is 35 years of young man or women, like that. You have 15 breads, equal distribution, you distribute everyone 3 3. That is equal distribution. Equitable distribution as per the need. The child needs one bread, but the someone who is sick may need some extra feeding, extra. The young person who is putting hard labor, working as laborer, will need extra bread. So somebody is taking one bread, somebody is taking two bread, somebody is taking four breads as per the need of the person. And need is not greed. Need is need. Need is not greed. That we also understand. The basic meaning of need and greed. So we must see that in a society there are people who are backbenchers, who are excluded, historically excluded. So in your own country, in your own village, you also see there will be certain communities, there will be certain people who are historically excluded from education, from all kinds of mainstream development or the development indicators. They are all excluded from the facilities. Then what the approach you have to take? You have to take the stance for social justice. Social justice. One example, do you have women reservation system in your country for government jobs, for political elections and all those? Do you have such system?
Come again, sir.
Reservation for women. For example, uh, for government jobs, If 100 jobs are advertised, some posts are reserved for women or PWD, person with disabilities. Is it like that?
Yes, yes.
Why it is done?
The law is there, but it's not working.
But why there is need of such reservation for PWD, for women? Why? Why? Because
Because
please tell. Please. Somebody was telling. Because historically we see certain people are deprived of facilities. Despite of all basic facilities, certain communities and people are not coming forward. They're historically denied, historically deprived. So government is taking special measures. So in Indian constitutions also there is provision, reservation facilities for children, for women, for PWD, for certain caste group, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. They have reserved just to promote social justice factor. Just to promote social justice factor. So also in Indian context, as social workers, we believe in dignity and worth of the person. The most important thing is that you may be working for children, you may be working for women, you may be working for senior citizens, you may be working for their rights, for equality, equity, anything else, for social justice, but you are not respecting the dignity of human beings. Are you a successful professional social workers?
no.
So you, me, everyone, we have to respect the dignity of every person. May be affected with HIV, may be affected with leprosy, tuberculosis, COVID-19, may be rape victims, may be sexually abused people or children, girls, women, children, may be black, may be rural, may be so-called low caste people, may be men, women, kinner, transgenders, sexual minorities, anyone can be. But every person has dignity. Your dignity is equally important or any other's dignity. Everybody wants to live with dignity. Anyone, maybe the person who are engaged in cleaning the roads, cleaning the toilets. Everybody has dignity. The officers have dignity. The one who is sweeping, cleaning the toilets have equal dignity. We have to understand that. So as social workers, as professional social workers, we must understand this dignity and worth of the person. And very important thing is that we need to understand the importance of relationship. And I have mentioned in our previous classes, we must develop a relationship and we must understand the meaning of relationship, and our relationship must be a purposeful relationship. As a social worker, sometimes we closely work with certain clients. If you are working with some lady and you are a man, you are working with some female. You are a female, you are working some men. So we must understand the limits of our relationship. How much I can go? What is the purpose of my relationship with my client? All these things we must understand. So also the integrity and competence. The social worker's conduct and behavior must be as a social worker. Our behavior should look like as social workers. Like people must understand us as committed persons. We control our emotions. We keep, we win the confidence of the people. We do not pass on judgments that you are good, he is bad, like that, the judgments. We do not pass on judgments. We work as facilitators because someone who has come to you, please remember this person is in problem, so that he or she has come to you. Am I okay? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
This person is already in trouble. The person is already in pain. The person is already in dilemmas. The person is already tortured mentally, physically, financially, and he or she is not able to cope up. So that she or he has come to you, extended, wants your support. And if we take the advantage of this bad situation, bad time of the person, we cannot work as professional social worker. We will not take the advantage of the bad situation of the person. Rather, we will work as qualified social workers by by showing good conduct, and we must be loyal to our profession. So I said social workers' conduct and behavior should be as like as social workers, not as common human beings, untrained social workers. Social workers, the social worker's ethical responsibility to client. It is just because the person has come to us by believing us. He or she has come. So we must be loyal to him or her. And when we are becoming loyal to him or her, that means we are loyal to our own work. We're loyal. As the doctors, if is not loyal to the patients, anything may happen to the patient. Patient may die, his or her disease may increase. So the ethical concern of the doctor is the doctor has to be loyal to the patient. So also the social workers. You see, to a doctor, persons who are having health issues are coming. But with us, to us, people are coming with various problems. Health problems, psychosocial problems, financial problems, adjustmental problems, violation of human rights, victims of violence. So many people are coming. So we must be loyal to the people, means we will be loyal to our own profession. We will be loyal to our own profession. Rights of the client, the confidentiality and privacy of social workers. We have already discussed that as social workers, we must maintain confidentiality and privacy, and we also need to understand the limit of maintaining confidentiality and keeping privacy. That is also another thing, is that privacy is now in many countries, right to privacy is a fundamental right. If you are disclosing someone's right, if you are disclosing someone's privacy, that is also you're violating his or her fundamental right in India, because privacy is a fundamental right in India currently. Similarly, in many countries of the world, you can check in your own country also, the right to privacy as an important basic human right now that is coming up and emerging. So once we are discussing, some client has come to you and discussing his or her secrets of family life, secrets of his or professional services, or professional jobs or anything else, and you are disclosing those privacy to the public so that the person is offended in the public. That means you are violating the fundamental rights. So also you are violating the ethical concern or the values of your professional service. So as professional social worker, we must maintain confidentiality and maintain the privacy of the persons or the client. So also the social worker's ethical responsibility is the social worker's ethical responsibility to social work profession is to maintain the integrity of the profession. Our professions, there is some integrity, so people believe us, so that they have come to us. So that is the integrity. If I am losing this integrity, that means this person will not feel good to go to any other social worker, any other social worker. You, me, as social worker, we are not in individuals, rather we are identified as professional social workers. For example, if some doctor is cheating to a patient, then the patient will be afraid of the all the doctors. They will be scared of, they'll be scared of. For example, you are a doctor and patients are coming, men will be coming, male will be coming, female will be coming, transgender will be coming. So you are bound to perform as social worker so that everybody will feel safe. So that's the ethical concern of a doctor. Every gender, every person will feel safe, whether she is male, female, or male, she is transgender or kinner. Everybody will feel safe while coming to the doctor. Similarly, everybody will feel safe, safe while coming to us as social workers. So social workers helps the person to avail social services available in this in the system. So there will be people who will be coming, uh, old lady, old person, she or he wants to get disability pension or the old age pension, but the person is very poor guy, poor lady, who does not know how to go for online application, fill up the online application for disability pension or old age pension. You are, as a social worker, me as a social worker, we as a social worker, we are helping the person, assisting the person to get his or her entitlements. Whatever entitlements he or she has, we facilitate a process by which the person avails the services. This is how many other ethical responsibilities we are discharging. We are discharging. We are discharging our ethical services. We are helping the person to empower him or her to avail the basic services. 2 minutes, just coming with glass of water. Okay, welcome back. Uh, Now another critical thing I am going to discuss, that is problems faced by social workers in ethical decision makings. Nowadays, or every time, social workers also facing crisis of values in society. For example, for example, you are employed as a social worker in either government agency or private agency, NGO. What exactly the NGOs are meant? Why NGOs are formulated? To serve, isn't it? To serve, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it
But
is.
and you are working with organization X, ABCD, any other organization you are working. Why you have joined this organization? Because you want to serve the children. For example, you want to feed the children. You want to work for the education of downtrodden children. That is what you are employed. But once you are employed, you have joined some organization, you see this organization is actually is not helping the children, rather there is misappropriation of wealth. This organization is busy in creating wealth in the name of service. This kind of situation may also come. You see mishappenings, corruptions, exploitations going on in the name of service. In the name of service, unethical practices are done. You, as a social worker, feel helpless. Misappropriation of funds are going on. Proper accounting is not done. The organization claims to be a serving organization, but actually money making organization, creating money, not serving the people, children. At that time, you are coming in dilemmas. Similarly, you have joined as sometimes you feel powerless as social workers. You want to serve, you want to help, you want to provide basic services, but you are powerless. You don't have money, you don't have power to sanction something. At that time, what is this? Somebody has given message. What discussion, Mr. Philip? Mr. Philip?
So the discussion is on how we can group ourselves and be having discussion on our past questions and assignments.
Oh,
Questions.
oh, all this. Okay, please, please,
Yeah.
please. Uh, so sometimes organizations are misusing, found in corruptions. Sometimes you as a social workers, you want to serve, you want to provide services, you want to give your best, but you are powerless. Is not happening many times with us. We want to serve, but we are not having in a position to serve. We feel powerless. Have you felt sometimes?
Yes, so much.
So
Yeah,
Yes.
many
so many
times.
times.
So many times. We feel we want to serve. So social workers are also around the year Sometimes we feel are powerful. Many times we also feel powerless. We cannot serve. Sometimes we are not getting the basic support from the civil society. Even our like-minded society and organizations will also not be supporting. You will be raising some issue. This is the violation of human right. This should be done. That should be done. You are genuinely putting some issues. You are raising questions, but people don't listen. People don't support you. People don't accept. You become sad. You become sad. Ki I am genuinely interested to work, but this is not supported by our civil society, other groups. Lack of professional bodies and professional support. In India, also, I have mentioned uh, professional organizations are not strong, very, and professional organizations are not in big numbers. They are not, even if they are, interest varies from person to person, and you as a social worker, you want to do something and you are not getting support from your association, social work association, your own community people, you feel helpless. And another important thing is that lack of importance given to studying and discussing professional ethics. Once you start talking about ethics, people also ignore you. Why are you talking all these things? With this, nothing is going to happen. You cannot bring change by doing this and that. Am I correct? People will also question to your agenda. People will not accept you were talking, we will work as a professional social worker, we will not do any mischief, we will be loyal to the people. People will be laughing at you. Isn't happening sometime with you?
Several
It
times it
happens.
happens.
And people will be telling to you, how childish you are, that is not actually done. People people laugh at you. And even this is not idealistic to do. All the idealistic things cannot make change, and practically not possible to be done like this. Like that, we come across different. And many times people believe in social Darwinism, that is Darwin gave a philosophy that is the survival of fittest. Anyone who is fit will survive. Anyone who is not fitting will not survive. Sometime. And people in social setup also believe like that. Sometimes they believe the survival of the fittest. They do not recognize the rights and dignity of the downtrodden, the less privileged people. We as social worker, we never believe in that survival of fittest theory in social setup. We believe in social justice. We believe in social justice, and we want to help needy. We want to protect the rights of downtrodden, and we want to provide support to anyone who needs us as professional social workers. And we obey all the professional ethics and conduct values of professional social work as social work professional. Finally, to say,
So the lecture just disappeared.
I hope he will be back shortly.
sorry. So finally, to conclude, if we, it is difficult to practice the values and ethics, but if we properly follow the ethics and values, definitely our own identity as social worker will be beautifully established in the society, and people will accept us, believe us as social worker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye for today.
Bye, sir.
Good day, good night,
Thanks a lot.
everything.
Thank you.
So, Philip, can you try and add me to the group? I'm not there.
Yes, I'll add you after this session. Yeah. So just give me a few minutes. You'll be added.
Thank you.
Sure. And if there is anyone else who's just a newcomer, please drop your name. Yeah.
I wanted to find out, there are two groups sent to the WhatsApp, but are we supposed to join both of them?
Yes, please join both of them because the other one is only for students. So all the communication that are regarding to the students will be communicated there. The other, the lectures will also be there, so we cannot compromise things there. You get it?
Yeah. So, I also wanted to ask because I don't know if you guys have access to your portals, where the learning portals they ignore the Evidyabati page because I'm seeing that I don't have like anything on my portal. It just shows their courses, but I don't even have deadline. I don't have even like what I'm seeing is that I'm having missing submissions for the assignments, and I think this is the first time that we're having the classes. I think they began on last week, so I'm not really sure. Is this like the May 2023 class, or is it the July 2023 or July 2022?
Yeah. So just to come in. So this one is a 2023 class, and it's for the first year. So they have just combined the semesters for semester 1 and semester 2. So for other information, I think we need the guidance from the school itself because of some of the questions, even myself, I'm not in a position or being able to answer them. So I think we should just find time to be organized ourselves so that we can channel our question to someone else. Sure.
Phil,
All
let me
right.
ask you also. I don't know, do you have any contact from anyone from the school? Because it seems like the communication is very poor. I started with the regional center first. I think it's even here, it's still in the meeting. And I wrote an email. I was not replied. Then I asked for WhatsApp group number in the class, if you can remember, in the last class. Still, I did not get, because when I started joining the classes, the first class I saw was for third semester. Then I found out, okay, I am not from the third semester, so that's probably not mine. Then I attended this, that is the one we are in now. So I've actually not accessed the portal yet. So there are a lot of things I have not done. So the email I received last time told me to go to the portal and stuff. So we need guidance on this, because we have a lot of things to do and we might not make it right. So I am asking if anyone is having contact with anyone from the school itself as IGNO. That would be better.
I think I also wrote several letters before, when I received my admission and when the assignment was also given. I tried so many ways to get in touch with them, but to no avail up to now that they send the contact or the email that we are having our classes soon. And we joined the seniors, then we realized that our class started from the 1st of this month. So this is our third class so far.